Who doesn't have burnout? Who does not have burnout in this day and age? And how often do we say it as a loose word thrown out, like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm just burnt out. I'm just stressed. But that has such a visceral impact on our whole being, because at the psychological somatic, which means your movement, your feelings, your physicality, it's all translated and it all has this big pile up, and then it explodes and it becomes a disease. It starts in the mind, it's transferred into the emotions emotions transfer into the physicality, and that's where we have disease created in so many of our environments today. And I feel like because science has proven that 85% of all diseases in the world, 85% are all due to environmental factors. If we can change and make a healthy environment, or we can just start expressing and being a bit more like proactive. We need to be proactive, not just reactive, not just staying in the zone of, okay, this is my life, I'm just in a highly stressed job, this is just part of my role, oh, but I get the paycheck every month, and that's, okay, that's my safety and stability. But what about your safety and stability inside your thoughts? How many thoughts run in your mind day in, day out that are not helpful for you? Be really honest with yourself. I feel like we need to just get back to the basics. And the basics is this. Science has proven that the bonding and connection hormone of oxytocin, if you have that at high levels, you actually can't have high levels of cortisol in your system. And so it's proven by science that if we just bond, if we just create community, if we just create communication ways to really dialogue, our nuances and our problems, and we'd be really vulnerable, especially in work settings. I think that's the hardest place, because you don't want to be caught out. You don't want people to think that you can't do your job. I was 27, clinically depressed. I couldn't even locate files in my system at work because my brain was not working. I didn't have any other help apart from antidepressant medication. I went to one counseling session with a person and she did not understand me, and I quit. I was 27. And as a result of that, it just piled up and it piled up and it piled up, and I was self-destructive. I was turning to so many vices, so many toxic ways for me to deal with something so sensitive, and it could have gone really bad. I know that because I experienced it, and I know what my thoughts were about. And I'm here sitting today so healthy because I realized the power of the environment that I surround myself with, the power that is, so conducive to my day in, day out workings. They say that you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with, or the people that you're influenced by socially or psychologically. So if you think about that, the 5 people that you hang out with, the people that have a high impact on your life, and you characterize their qualities or their main characteristics. Those 5 qualities, those characteristics of them is what makes you you. So if they're not so good qualities, if a person in your work environment day in, day out, the 5 people you're with, day in, day out, if they are highly stressed, highly strung, they don't have time to talk to you, they don't have time to even be themselves, you learn that and you innately grow that within you. So you have those characteristics that you are in the environment of. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the impact that environment has on our emotional, psychological, spiritual, and lifestyle. I feel like at work, we need to have psychological tools where we actually are able to communicate our vulnerabilities. We're able to share emotions. We're able to be ourselves. It's such a freeing experience to be yourself at work and not have to put on a facade. In fact, it makes you a better human. You come to work more excited, more happy. And we find it's really difficult to do that in this day and age because we work for the sake of a safe income, a livelihood that supports me, and all those other key reasons. But we should actually have an institute where we go to work, yes, for the safety of income and to do my job, but also I go to work because I like going to work. I like it. The 40 plus hours I spend of my lifetime per week across the board, I am happy. And I feel like it starts with understanding ourselves. What is your ikigai, the Japanese, philosophy of understanding what am I passionate about? What do I love to do? How can that be of service to others? And how can I make it into a profession? These are simple ways to think about life. What about our values? What are our values? Not just our corporate values, our individual values instilled in me. So I can look at a problem and instead of reacting to the problem, I can go, my values is I am of service to myself. I want to be a higher conscious being, and I want to show up with appreciation for my life. So when there's a problem, I'm going to look at my values rather than react and think of that as my demise. That's not going to be the problem anymore. I'm going to look at the problem with some objectivity. I'm going to have a lens of perception that I've created from the learning of the psychological tools in my belt. And I'm going to face problems, whether in life or at work, with those tools. And that's what we want to bring into the workplace.